What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We're episode 26.
Episode 26, man.
Yes, sir. And with this week's episode...
So look.
What's up?
Now go ahead. What were you going to say?
I ain't had much. Go ahead. Go for it.
I was going to say, since we're in the trend of trying to figure out sports figures with the numbers that match the episode, 26 is a very unpopular number. Newsflash.
Yeah.
So the only person I was able to find was Adrian Peterson and a bunch of baseball players.
I ain't mad at Adrian. AP it is, man. The Adrian Peterson episode.
The AP episode. Yes, and a bunch of other baseball players.
Yeah, which is a sport that tends to not matter unless you're doing something exciting. Sorry, guys. I said it. Sport is irrelevant to me unless somebody's breaking a record. If you're not breaking a record in the sport, go for it.
That's what I was hoping you would say. I was really trying to bait you to see where you would take it.
I took it.
And you did not disappoint me. You did not disappoint me.
I took the bait. I went immediately for AP. So give me Adrian. I don't care about
any baseball players.
Because all you said was a bunch of baseball players, which meant they were irrelevant. If you'd named them,
to me,
they were a relevant player.
To me, they were irrelevant. I mean, I can't say they were irrelevant.
They're irrelevant.
They could have been some. They could have been a Tracy McGrady of their time. I have no idea. You know what I mean? Tracy McGrady is a name that's, you know what I'm saying, in the basketball world. If you say T-Mac, you know T-Mac, but as far as the history books, he's not on that Michael Jordan level to where you're universally recognized. So, who knows? But you gave me the reaction I was looking for. Thank you for that. Way to start off my episode today.
In general, man, I'm skipping the introductions. We jumping straight into subject matter, man. Look, my name is Jared. And Denzel is also who you heard, the other voice that you heard, the other host of the show. And we discuss cigars and everything else. And right now, you're getting a lot of everything else. Cigars, I know you the star. Just wait 1 second, Cigars. We coming to you. Now, this whole baseball thing, man, I know baseball is America's little sweetheart, darling sport.
America's favorite pastime, right?
America's favorite pastime. But in reality, it's not. It's not. The average American, I dare say, doesn't care about baseball. You know what I'm saying? I think baseball is now a niche sport in 2022. It's a niche sport.
Very well possible.
I'm gonna say baseball and soccer in America may be on the same level with soccer on its heels to surpass it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can honestly say that. Like, soccer has really gotten popular in America.
Yeah.
More so than before. Yeah. So yeah, it possibly is catching up very closely with baseball. Very closely.
And don't be surprised in 5 years if it's not surpassed it. You know what I'm saying? Baseball in America is I won't put it as low as boxing, but it's popular. Don't get me wrong. I'm taking a dump on it right now. It's popular, but it ain't like that. It's still living off its old history, man. To me, I think it's a dying sport, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Honestly, if you asked me to name 3 active baseball players, I couldn't name it. I couldn't give you 3.
I could not give you 3. I could have named them in the 90s.
Yeah. In the 90s, easy. Yeah. Early 2000s, yeah. I can give you 3. I can give you 5. I can give you 10. Probably give you 20 in the 90s. But yeah, right now, if you ask me to give you 3, I can't give you 3.
No,
I don't know. Nah. But yeah, man. So that's where we are. Thank you for taking that bait.
Yeah. To the baseball fans, I'm sure there's a lot of cigar smokers that are baseball fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like
Don't get me
I
wrong,
hear.
it's popular, but your sport stinks today. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just ain't what it was.
I mean, and I hear it's one of those sporting events that you have to go to the baseball field to enjoy. You have to go to the stadium,
Yeah.
or play it in. You know what I'm saying? Go play some softball or something. You know what I mean? Some rec league. Maybe you can have a good time with it, but as far as like keeping up with it on a day-to-day basis, or for one, it's too many games. If you ask me, like it's way too many games to keep up with for a season. And then I don't know, it's just not fun to watch on TV. I can't tell you the last time I watched a baseball game on TV.
Like 120, 140 games in a season.
No, I was like 160.
160, yeah, 160. So that means I can go 0-80 and still be 500 at the end of the season.
Yeah.
What kind of crap is that? That's too many games, man.
Oh,
like, nobody
and then tell me
0-80 and still break 500. Like
now, and since we're talking about percentages, one thing that used to kill me, because they were talking about it was something that came up with Barry Bonds recently. Like Barry Bonds, I was watching something about Barry Bonds and then Mark Aguirre, and they were rattling off their stats and stuff like that. Well, tell me what
80%.
Other entity? Yeah, you shoot batting 300, batting 284. I'm like, that's a low percentage, but that's your stat. In baseball, I mean basketball, you shooting 20% from anything. You on the bench, buddy. Yeah, you on the bench. You shooting 30% from anything. Yeah, you can't even shoot 30% from the 3-point line anymore.
No.
Like back in the day, you shot 35% from the 3-point line. You was
a good 3-point shooter.
You was top notch. Yeah. You was a 3-point sniper back then. You was a 3-point specialist for shooting 35%. But even now, you got to shoot 40 or better.
Yeah, which is just more to the argument of why baseball stinks. And like it's just it's not enough excitement, man. It's not
enough excitement.
It's too much hurry up and wait. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like baseball is a sport that you can go, like, I don't know, man. Like the all-stars of the game you can be in the outfield and pay your bills on your cell phone and not have to worry about
waiting all day for something to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not enough going on, man. It's a boring sport.
Chill in the outfield, hockey, pay your bills, call your girl on the phone.
There may not be a lot of scoring, but it's a lot of up and down
action. It's a lot of action.
Baseball, it's not a lot of
hockey.
And it's a lot of nothing going on. Like it's just too much sitting around. Baseball was great for the 1920s when America was slow paced and everything was like that. You know what I'm saying? You could listen to the game.
You know what?
It doesn't fit.
You know what? That might be a good point. I didn't even think about that factor. It's just the time we live in too. Everything is fast paced nowadays. Everything is a now. It's got to happen now.
Right.
And baseball just doesn't fit that format.
It'll never be that.
Boom, 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 boom. You got a point.
And they
got to speed the game up.
The highlights is like a guy with his wrist over the backside of the wall. Like,
he caught that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it does take some skill. Like it takes a lot of skill to get up and down that baseball field, jump up and catch a ball. Like I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say a lot.
It does. It
takes a certain degree of skill. But I think you could take any top-notch athlete and they go into baseball. Well, I take it back. Michael sucked. I take that back. Greatest back.
Right. There you go.
But he was too tall. You know what I'm saying? He was just too tall in that strike zone. You know what I'm saying? And he looked out of place, just long and lanky out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah.
Pitches and stuff. But if you take somebody of normal stature, they probably could transition.
They could probably do it. AI can do it.
The pitcher, he's the talented one. A couple of those hitters, like if you an elite hitter, you're the talented ones. But the rest of them, they're good athletes, but I wouldn't call them spectacular athletes. You know what I'm saying? They're
right.
Athletes, so.
They're on the same level as a golf athlete.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit better.
A little bit better than a golfer. 100%.
Man, there's gonna be some baseball. There's gonna be some baseball players and baseball fans who are gonna be pissed off at this.
They will be,
but so be it.
I don't think they're better athletes than the American Ninja Warriors. You know that show?
Nah, you got a point there. Yeah. For real.
Like,
No. Those guys are athletes. Like for real, you got to be very athletic to do what they do.
yeah. All right, baseball players. We'll leave it alone. It's time to introduce the stars of the show.
we gave them enough, right?
Yeah, we'll leave it alone, man. Your sport's decent, but
keep enjoying your sport. It's a great pastime.
So this week, I will be smoking a Joya de Nicaragua, the Cabinetta.
Okay.
Now, if you're watching us on live as we do this on Instagram, or if you happen to check the replay out on YouTube, and eventually we're gonna start getting these videos on Spotify. So those of y'all to check us out on Spotify. Maybe this will make Spotify. I don't know. But this one right here has got a little swirl to it, man. It's two-tone, this Cabinetta. Got the chocolate up top and the creamy down bottom. I don't know if this bottom is gonna hit.
I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Or if it's, I don't know what to expect from it. But
so is that two different rappers? Is that two different rappers?
Two different rappers.
Okay.
Now, from the little research I've done, I got a Connecticut rapper along with Nicaraguan origin. It's a Nicaraguan cigar overall, but that's what I got.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. I went to my shop and I asked for something medium body. He was like, "Man, you want some flavored or non-flavored?" I said, "Man, don't give me no flavor cigar." No, I'm just playing. I said, "No, I don't want flavor. I want something, just something medium body, man." He pointed me towards a few I already had, and then he pointed to this one. I said, "I'll take it." So that's what we at.
Yeah, go with something. Yeah, go with some adventurous. All right, I'm with that.
Price point of $10.65 in a Churchill actual size.
Okay. Yeah. Decent price point, man. Decent price point. So for me, I'm taking this back to one of my origins. So you remember this boy right here, right? You introduced me to this one. This was Miami 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Sound about right.
First time I had a My Father's cigar. I remember I was smoking something the night before, and I was very disappointed in the cigar. You had this one, and you was like, "Man, my cigar is great. I know what you're talking about." I'm loving my cigar, and I just remember being very disappointed with my cigar. So like, we hit a cigar shop in Bayside,
right?
And we stumbled upon it. I was like, you know what? Man, I can't have you just outdo me on cigars like this. I'm having a horrible cigar. And knowing our history, your first cigar was a Cohiba, and this was back in Miami again too. Prior to that, I'm like, man, I can't go 0 for 2. I can't go 0 for 2. Even though my even though my Romeo was good, it wasn't Cohiba. But then for the cigar I had was just that it wasn't it. It wasn't that Romeo level. It just wasn't it. So it wasn't measuring up to your cigar. So I went and got this one, and that is when I fell in love with My Father's cigars. Like, this has become one of my go-tos, and then also my introduction into the cigar line. Like, as far as loving and wanting to explore all the cigars. If I haven't named it yet, I showed it on the video, but it's the Flor de las Antillas.
There we go.
Boom, boom, boom. So taking it back to the origin of the My Father brand for me. And I think it might be the first box press I've ever had too. I want to say it might have been the first box press.
Yeah, because you fell in love with that also.
Yeah. So,
have you had this in a while?
I don't think I've had it in a while. I think I might have smoked it on the show one time, maybe like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like over like maybe the last year or so, I don't think I've had it.
Okay.
Can't say I picked one up in a while. Yeah.
Well, so that'll be a good experience for you. Now, I already saw what you did, but let's ask for the sake of the listeners, what kind of cut are you going with?
Oh, straight cut today.
Straight cut.
And it was by choice. I got my punch. available. And I actually got a V cut. I went ahead and bought a V cut. So I had some extra options, and just decided to go with a straight cut today. You know.
All right.
Definitely I'm probably gonna pull that V cut out.
As we speak.
Oh, you got the V cut today? Okay.
Yeah, I pulled that out. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna go ahead and let's get started. Shall we?
You know, I was talking to a new cigar smoker, one of my neighbors who been getting into cigars, and he was talking about the different cuts. He wanted to know about the different cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who might be listening and want to know about these different cuts and the why would you go with a certain cut versus another cut? Do you have anything to throw out to the audience as far as the different cuts?
Well, we'll start with this. I'm on match number 2. You know, just to acknowledge that. Went straight out on me. The match didn't stay lit no time. What? Woo. But to your question, that's a fantastic question that I never considered us even discussing. I would say as far as a specific reason why you should go with certain ones for certain things, I don't have a lot to throw out outside of it becoming a preference once you experiment with it. They all get the job done. In my experience, I began to like a punch because the punch gave me less risk, and it gave me on more occasions, it gave me a better, fuller smoke from a cigar than a straight cut. Straight cut always does, gets the job done. It's the traditional way. It's probably the original way. But there's always the possibility you can mess the cap up on a cigar when doing that. If
Absolutely.
aim, take too much off, your cigar could be ruined, the condition of it. If you don't take enough off, you won't quite be able to pull in as much smoke as you would like to really enjoy it. Match number 3. I got to go get my lighter soon.
You gonna throw in the towel?
I'm tripping.
Hit the spill. There you go. Got to see the stick. Go for it. But yeah, so like just to go off of what you were saying, so what I explained to him was just the differences. For one, having a controlled way to cut your cigar or to poach your end. And I told him, hey, look, for somebody who's a brand new novice cigar smoker, and you want to get your cap poached to get your cigar lit, go with a punch. If you're unsure of where to cut, how deep to cut, you can never go wrong with a punch. Punch is going to hit you right where it needs to be 10 times out of 10, 100%. Not going to go wrong. And you're going to get the draw you need. Like you said, so much error with the straight cut. You can cut too deep, cut too shallow, not to get the kind of draw that you're looking for, So punch, to me, like if I had somebody who was brand new to smoking and I wanted to give them, a starter kit, I throw a punch in there and say, here, punch this bad boy every time until you get comfortable with your clip.
Right. I agree with that. A V cut, I put that in the same ballpark, as a punch.
V cut, yeah. Because like most V cutters,
a bit of error with a V cut too.
You can't have error. You can still, peel the cap too much. Like you can still mismeasure and then kind of cut off, but you're only gonna go but so deep with the V cut. So like if it comes to like safety, punch, V cut, and straight cut.
Yeah,
straight cut's like taking the trainer wheels all the way off.
All the way off. Right. That's exactly what it is. And like he was saying, that V cut is somewhere in the middle, still room for error, gonna give you the same benefits as a punch because it enters into the actual cigar. It's It's going to give you more of that effect, but it takes a little more off and allows you to really let the cigar breathe from the top. But like you say, you can still clip mess that up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting question that I hadn't really considered until, so he asked that question. He's like, man, so you got this, you got that. So what's the difference? So I actually had to go into my bag of thinking, like, okay, this is the why. We do it now just because I'm based on preference of how we're feeling in the moment. But then to somebody who doesn't really understand what each one difference is and how it can affect your cigar, I had to kind of dig into my bag to kind of explain that to him. And then the same thing with the draw, like you said, like different ones going to give you a different kind of fuller smoke, less full, going to pull in more smoke into your mouth, whatever, more controlled.
Right. And really that's gonna we're explaining this, but for anybody that's a novice that may not be familiar with the different types of cuts, V cut, punch, or straight cut, you're gonna have to, don't just take our word for it. This is one of those things where hands-on you learn better from. You know what I'm saying? You have to experience.
Yeah.
Because like he said, your draw is going to be different, and you're going to have to really be able to feel that difference in draw to decide which one is for you and which days you might be in the mood for that or not. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
They're not very expensive. I mean, of course you can get expensive ones, but you can get some affordable ones. For, under $10. You know what I'm saying? So I would say when next time you go to your shop, when you're at the front paying, check your register, and they'll probably have some different types of cuts for you, and try them out. Try all three out.
Yeah,
good to have all of them
for sure, man.
I don't know if you've been watching my face over here, man, but I have a lot going on my palate, and I'm trying to make sense of all of it, and it actually. It's like coming back to this color wrapper, this light. We had the discussion of light and dark wrappers. I got them swirled in here. I almost got a Neapolitan ice cream. I almost got that going right
Neapolitan
now.
Cigar,
and a cigar, because I got both going here, and I hadn't. This is reminding me of the old light cigars we used to smoke a little bit, but it's a very creamy smoke. The smoke itself is like full, but it's very light and creamy. But I'm getting a nice full smoke coming off of it. It's like a woodiness with a little bit of spice to it, but not bad. But it is a little bit of spice. I don't even know if I fully want to describe it as that pepper. You know what I'm saying? Because that pepper hit different.
Yeah,
this has just got like a little bit of
not quite peppery, but still some kind of spiciness.
Yeah, a little bit of toastiness on it. You know what I'm saying? And I suppose there's something else on that, but I'm not making out what it is yet.
Okay.
It's almost,
and then also you got
sweetness to it. Almost that other thing that I can't pick up on is almost got a sweetness to it, but it ain't quite.
And then keep in mind you use the cedar too to light it, so that could be something else that might throw some extra complexities in there too.
That could be it too. I did use the cedar, and I haven't used the cedar in a while, so I could be picking up on some of that cedar in there also. I'm gonna continue to go, but those are my initial thoughts as of now. I'm trying to figure out what it was so much that hit me right away that it actually made me aware of the cigar and conscious, like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, yeah. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Not in a bad way. I'm not ready to commit and say it's in a great way either, but just in okay, you got my attention. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, it'll be what this is.
I'm not shocked by that at all. Like you have a mixed cigar, you have a mixed bag cigar right now, so you're gonna get a mixture of some things. Like especially looking at the way it's constructed, I can see how, because like where you're burning at is the light part of the cigar,
right?
But then where you're drawing at is the Maduro looking wrapper,
right?
So you're going to get some of those notes from
both
the top of your cigar, where it's actually burning at. But then when you pull back your draw, and it gets through that last part of the filler, and then you're including that Maduro wrapper, that's gonna be that's gonna be a little mixture there. So that is very interesting. And then what I'm curious to see as it comes back, as you get into your second and third thirds, like how is that really gonna transition, especially as you get closer to that Maduro wrapper? Like how is that really gonna play? Like are you gonna get some more? You just got to think like that light wrapper, and it just reminded me of how we used to smoke all those light wrappers. And you said you remember the like the kind of taste that you would get, the kind of balance in the cigar that you would get.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about that now that I'm smoking a lot of darker cigars. Like I'm taking that old, feel and flavor that I used to get back in the day, and thinking about mixing it with what I'm smoking now, because I'm smoking a pretty dark Maduro wrapper myself.
Right.
And thinking of how that would kind of combine. That's got to be interesting.
It's very interesting.
That's got to be interesting.
This is complex, but it's not like bold or nothing like that. It's probably literally a medium as far as the strength of the cigar. It's probably
right.
Lighter to medium, but it's complex though, and that's.
But to me, it seems like you're being thrown in two different ways. Like you're smoking two cigars at one time.
I feel like that's what's happening, because I'm actually confused by like, hold on, what am I experiencing? like normally you can kind of narrow it down. Like, okay, yeah, it's this right here and that, and it's kind of like, well, I picked this up on, but this is kind of. I don't think these supposed to be going together. Like, but it's working, but it's unique. Though. Yeah, it's unique.
You're literally smoking two cigars at one time.
Yeah, and when you broke it down,
light wrapper, dark wrapper.
Like I was actually not even thinking about the fact that I'm picking up on where I'm drawing from, also, which is the Maduro wrapper at the top. I didn't even process it from that point of view. I was just kind of thinking I'm getting all of this off of the lighter wrapper at the end, from the tip of the cigar. But when you point
that's the part that's burning, but you draw from it. Yeah.
It could be that.
That's wild.
I think it's a little bit of that sweetness I was talking about is kind of a little bit of a chocolatiness to it, but I don't know. It's unique. All
right. Well, shoot. Well, I'm interested to see how this pans out for you. So as we get through it, definitely keep us up to date.
Yeah.
With me, so mine, just as I remember, solid cigar. Definitely the reason why I kind of took a liking to my father's. Just smooth from the top, man. Like very little pepper. A lot of earthiness, some cocoa notes as well. Just real smooth. Not a lot of pepper. Just a good cigar, man. Good solid cigar. This is what's that Miami vibe, man. Miami vibes all day.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, speaking of different vibes and stuff, man, this past Sunday that went by, I took a trip to Fellowship, man, for the first time. Fellowship in Atlanta. For those of you that don't know, that would be Cam Newton's cigar bar.
Yeah, man. Was that your first time?
That was my first time visiting there. Have you been there before?
Okay. Yeah. Been there a couple times, actually.
Okay. So, that being said, it was a nice little environment, man. It's a cool little spot, man. I enjoyed the music, enjoyed the environment, man. A lot of good people in there, man. A lot of brothers of the Leaf, and and even more sisters of the Leaf in there, man.
I was gonna say that. I did notice a lot of women in there enjoying cigars. Not in there just, just enjoying the nightlife or whatever, enjoying the environment. No, a lot of ladies that were there enjoying a nice cigar.
Yeah.
Just with the rest of us.
Yeah.
So I think I think from my experience, that's probably the largest population of females that I've ever ran into enjoying cigars.
Yeah.
Like of course we've witnessed that plenty of times throughout the years, but as far as like at one setting, that's probably the most I've ever seen in one setting.
Yeah, most definitely. And it kind of caught me off guard, because we know that there's a lot of the sisters of the Leaves out there. You know what I'm saying? That really, the women enjoy their cigars. We know they enjoy them too. And there's a lot of aficionados. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to it.
Yeah.
But to really go into an environment and see where it's majority women in there, and like I said, I went in there that Sunday afternoon. And you come in, and it's not like they were trying to go out and just, like you say, make a night on the town. They just was enjoying the, hey, let's get together and enjoy a smoke and talk. You know what I'm saying? Have some drinks and talk. And it was really like that. It was cool to see, man. Most definitely cool to see. Like I say, it was a nice little environment in there, man. So, shout out to them. I'm assuming your experiences were similar, or did you have a different take on it?
No, I mean, when the night I went, man, it was a good night. Like it was. I'm trying to figure out how I can explain it. Especially in Atlanta, we've been to what's the one that's down in by Midtown that we've been to?
I don't recall the name.
Is it Highland Cigar?
In the Highland Park area, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
sorry, y'all.
We've been there. We've been to Burn. We've been to what's old buddy's joint, Triumph. We've been there.
Yeah, Triumph, I think is what it's called.
And then it was another spot. There's also in Midtown. It's by this club that usually opens up at 2:00 in the morning, which is crazy to me. First time I ever experienced that. A club that lines up at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Leaving the cigar spot, and then the lines lining up at 3 in the morning was wild. Can't remember what the name of that spot was, unfortunately.
It was right across from Lenox Mall that we went to.
Okay.
I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. I can't recall what it is. But as far as like the vibe,
I believe.
But as far as the vibe there, it was a real cool vibe. Like it was probably one of your I'm trying to figure out how I can describe it, because it wasn't like a club,
no,
but then it wasn't like a cigar lounge either. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it wasn't stuffy. Then at the same time, it wasn't like rowdy or anything like that. But it was like that somewhere in between. Like it was an interesting,
very bar like
mixture.
A very bar
life, but not too clubby, but not too.
Almost.
It didn't feel too cigar-y either. You know what I mean? Like if you ever been to like I'm not saying you've ever been to a cigar lounge, but going to just a regular cigar lounge where it's just nothing but leather chairs and just people just cool, calm conversation. It was somewhere in between cool conversation and some turn up mix and some vibe. Like it was just it was a dope little mixture. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely get with that vibe. Not all the time, but like if I wanted to get out and mingle and have a fun time and not feel too boxed in into just cigar, that's one of those spots, man.
Most definitely.
So I definitely enjoy that. So when it comes to going out to cigar lounges, though, what do you look for? Like, what's your preference?
I think when it comes to cigar lounge, I'm typically looking for a more relaxed environment. I do like a little bit of music, but I don't want the music feeling like I'm in a club where I got to yell over it. You know what I mean? So the music got to be at a particular volume. I do like where there's waitresses and stuff, going around.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer that versus me having to get up and go over to the bar and order my drink.
Yeah. Oh man. Out here in DC, when I went to Shelly's back room, might have been the first time I experienced where, you know what I'm saying, waiters and waitresses coming around, not necessarily for your food and drink, but to make sure your cigar is lit. That was a really dope touch. They would come by, hey, you need me to, and they come by, make sure to put a little bit of, heat on on the edge of your cigar and make sure you good to go. Make sure you're going. That's one of the first times I've ever experienced that was out here in DC. To where they would come by and relight your cigar to make sure that your cigars continue to burn, which was really, really cool. Really cool touch.
Which is smart. It's smart. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna be a waiter or a waitress in a cigar bar, you gotta have different things you're looking for than if you're
Mhm.
just at a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? You might
Yeah,
come hit my water if
it's the
we at the
same as
restaurant, but at the cigar, you're gonna go
yeah.
buy a cigar.
You know, I liken to that. Like it's the same thing. Like they come by and make sure you get your cup of water is full or your cup of tea is full. You know what I'm saying? Come and top you off. It's the same thing with the cigar. They come and you know what I'm
Right.
saying, top your cigar off to make sure you good.
Most definitely. It
So
makes sense.
that was really a dope touch. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing that I look for. So like I say, it's gonna be a certain environment as far as I don't necessarily look for loungy. I guess I go for more of a bar lounge feel, bar slash
Mm-hmm.
lounge type feel. And I also like when a spot, like I say, I don't want too crowded. I do like it to be kind of spaced out. We have enough room to move around and you're not just cluttered up underneath each other. Um, and I like having a waiter or waitress. And I also like that the humidor's got to be right, man. You got to have somebody
Humidor's got to
in
be
there.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
little small humidors in a lounge. I don't want to go in there and have to be picking from a little handful of.
And let me ask you this too. Let me ask you this too. Cigar lounges that make you buy a cigar in their lounge versus you bringing your own cigars. I've been to a couple of those who didn't allow you to bring your own cigars into the lounge. You would have to buy at the cigar lounge you go to. How do you feel about that?
I understand it. I don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it. I understand it. I know you got to keep the lights on, but if I came to your spot to smoke, I'm gonna probably put money into it. I'm one of your
Yeah,
patrons. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm supporting
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Eventually, I'm gonna buy a drink. Eventually, I'm gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? So even if I don't put money into the actual humidor, I'm gonna support you somehow. You know what I'm saying? So
Somehow,
I think
you know, like
that's like pushing certain people away. Maybe it's a way of trying to make sure people are serious or make sure that they sell cigars, but your cigars will get
mhm.
sold. Don't worry about that because I'm coming to you.
Yeah, they
I bought
will.
this cigar from you a week ago, and now I'm just coming to smoke it
And now I'm
the next
back.
day.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
not a
yeah, yeah,
believer
yeah,
in
yeah,
that.
yeah. I've definitely seen that. Been to a few spots like that, and man, it ground my gears when that happens. If anything, charge me a fee. I rather pay $10 to get in a cigar spot than be forced to buy a cigar from your spot. I'm gonna spend $10, $15 on a cigar there anyway, right?
Right.
So if that's the balance in between, hey, charge me an entry fee. I'll pay $10 to get in and sit down real quick. You know what I'm saying? To allow me to smoke the cigar that I brought with me that I'm looking forward to smoking. I get in there, you might not have what I like. You might not have what fits my mode that night.
Right.
Whenever I go to a cigar lounge, well, not a cigar lounge, but a humidor, and I'm going to shop for cigars, 8 times out of 10, I kind of have an idea what I want. But then it might be that other 20% that I might see something else that catches my eye that I might want to smoke. But usually when I go into a spot to grab a cigar, I'm really kind of knowing what I'm looking for.
Right.
And then when I sit down to smoke a cigar, I have an idea of what I want. I might have 10 cigars and narrow it down to two and say it's going to be either one of these two, depending on how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But say I go out to smoke cigars and I want to enjoy a particular cigar that night, and I go to a lounge and I got to be forced to buy cigars that you have. And if you don't have a vast cigar selection, and I might not find something that I'm really looking forward to smoking. Not saying that, hey, that Rocky Patel there is a cigar that I don't like or like. Even if I like that cigar and smoked that cigar before, and I actually really fond of that cigar, that might not be the cigar for me that night.
Right. Right. I agree with you. And I think that's part of why I don't like it either, is because when you get there, a lot of these lounges, man, and cigar bars, they don't be having like the amount that you want. You can go to a regular cigar
Yeah.
shop and they just have a little area that you can go smoke in, and they got
Mm-hmm.
the vast they
Yeah.
got an array of cigars to choose from. But a lot of these lounges, the humidors don't be that big, man, because it's really
Mm-hmm.
they just celebrating having the environment for you to come
Right. Right.
be together in.
Yeah. They're focused more on the environment than they are on the actual humidor itself and having a certain amount of cigars available to you.
A lot of times they're limited, man. And you get there, and I've been in that position before. It's like, I really don't want to smoke none of these cigars. You know what I'm saying? But now you got to pick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I'll go with this one, and you make it work because you want to be there. But why do that to your customer? You know what I'm saying? Let them come, and they can smoke what they want to smoke. They can bring their whole travel humidor. If they want to run through 3 of their own, let them run through 3 of their own because they're drinking from the bar. Believe they go drink the whole time they're there. You know what I'm saying? And if
I'm gonna grab something to drink. Yeah.
Even if they don't, even let's say they don't drink nothing but water. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably eat something while they're there. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't eat nothing while they're there, you'll get them next time because they like being there. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna come every single time and not spend money. So like, stop worrying about the moment sometimes and worry about building a relationship with this person. With
you know what I'm saying?
Coming back, like.
The capitalist society where we feel like we got to capitalize on every little thing, you know what I mean? Instead of looking at building the customer, your customer basis, and just saying, hey, as long as I win a customer, they're going to spend money at my establishment in some kind of capacity at some point.
Right.
You know, I don't have to look forward to getting $1 out of them every single time, every chance I get. You know, that's the customer model that I guess has to be revamped in some kind of way, you know, and just say, hey, let me win a customer, whether I get that $1 from them today or get that $1 from them tomorrow. Winning a customer, I'm looking at how long I can have that customer for, not what I can get out of them in that moment.
Right.
You know, you get more money by keeping the customer for a longer time than trying to stick them for 10, 20, 30, $50 in the moment.
Right.
You give me for $50 today, you might not get another $50 from me ever.
Yeah, because you probably won't see me again. Because I spent the 50 because I had to do everything I wanted to do. I was gonna spend 35 of that with you anyway on drinks and everything else.
Right.
But you forced me to spend
you got an extra $15
on the cigar. You forced me that out of me, and I didn't enjoy myself the way I would have enjoyed it if I could have just had my own cigar. And if I could enjoy myself a little more, your establishment comes to mind later on when I think, hey, where are we getting up this Friday? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Last spot we went was the spot. Let's go back. Instead of that spot was all right, man. Let's go see if there's somewhere else we can go.
Yeah, and they ain't got the cigars I like, and I can't bring my own cigars. Let's go somewhere else.
Because ultimately,
you know, so now you lose the longevity of a customer.
You lost longevity. You got a little bit in the moment. You didn't get a little bit long term. You got a little bit in one moment. And you cool with that for a lot of people. But I don't think that that's the best way to go about it, man, because it's a little saying how people be like, people don't remember what you said to them. They just remember how it made them feel. People ain't going to really remember the details of why they don't like a shop or a restaurant or wherever. They just remember how they felt when they went. You know what I'm saying? Like their restaurants, me and my wife would be like, hey, you want to go back to that spot? And I'm like, not really. And we were like, well, how was the food? I don't even remember. I don't remember either. You know, but I just don't want to.
You don't even remember. Yeah, you don't even. Right.
I remember how I felt, my experience, and I just felt unfulfilled. I don't want to go give them money no more. I can't even remember why I didn't like them no more. Like I just don't want to go there no more.
You just remember the feeling. That's it.
Yeah, and
man.
Same goes for these cigar bars and lounges and whatnot. You gotta make sure you make your patrons enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one big thing about the whole cigar culture, man. Like everything feeling. We do when it comes, it's all about feeling. Mm-hmm. Exactly what I was going to say. Everything that we do when it comes to cigar culture is about feeling. That's the reason why we smoke cigars, is for that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Not the feeling that the cigar makes you feel like, you know, like how a controlled substance would, but it's just it's that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like if the vibe is off, you lost me. Right. That's the whole purpose behind why we smoke these, is to catch that vibe. You know what I mean? But here we are.
I agree with you. I agree. So,
and speaking of vibes, though, what's up?
No, go ahead. You got it.
I said, but speaking of vibes, real quick, I've been finding myself, I don't know if this is just the old man grumpy part of me coming out. I find myself not wanting to go to like those little cigar lounges where it's just quiet and you just got a bunch of leather chairs and a bunch of guys just sitting smoking and having conversation. I've been finding myself less of a conversationalist now. Like before, it was cool. I was with it. But now, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just this moment, but I'm not too much of a conversationalist while I'm smoking my cigars anymore.
Oh man, so the show ain't gonna last.
No. I mean, not based off of that. I'm just saying, like,
season 2.
like it's just I don't know what it is, man. Like it's just been something weird with me, to where I don't know. It feels like in order for me to be a conversationalist, when it's coming to smoking my cigar and enjoying my cigar, like it has to be as organic as possible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So to where I go into a spot to where it's nothing. Like say like, you know, it's no music, it's no vibe, it's no atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's harder for me to go into those environments now than it used to be. Like it has to be an environment like a burn or like fellowship or whatever in order for me to really get into a conversationalist cigar smoke. It can't be just like one of those
like at the shop,
intimate
where it's just sit over there and smoke if you want to, or leave.
The last time I don't know what it was, but the last time I did that, I just felt it's probably the first time. Well, not the first time, but that time was the first time I didn't feel too comfortable. Like something just was like off with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt forced into certain conversations while smoking a cigar. Like that was weird. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe it could have been the environment in that particular settings or those settings that kind of threw me off. But like I feel like I have to be in a more I have to have more going on in order for me to feel more comfortable now.
So
I don't know what it is.
Uncomfortable silence is what it was, and like you felt the need to feel it. And you don't want to be forced to feel it. You just want to
forced to feel it. Okay. Yeah, like just feeling those empty silent spots and stuff like that. Like I don't know what it was. Like, but it happened on more than one occasion, and I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't sit right with me.
I mean, I can understand that because I don't go to them type spots anyway. You know what I'm saying? If I go to a spot and I see that it's just gonna be like no noise, I wouldn't go. You know what I'm saying? So I typically try to make sure that I'm doing spots with at least a little bit of a lot of chatter, a little bit going on in the background. Like I say, I don't like music loud where it feel like a club, but I want it.
But I need things going on now.
Yeah.
If not that, then I gotta smoke cigars by myself. I gotta go off by myself. I gotta go off to the water and have some music and just chill and be in my own space. It's either that, so it's like almost no in between for me. It's either that I'm doing it by myself, solo, or I have to have an environment with something going on,
right,
in order for me to feel comfortably integrated.
I think I kind of always been that way. I never enjoyed them spots. Even if I go buy a cigar from somewhere and I want to smoke right then and there, and the people are like, hey man, you can light it up and smoke right here if you want. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to sit there amongst whoever else is over there that I don't know. And it's just quiet and we all just feel forced to talk. You know what I'm saying? At least let the TV be going. Have a game on.
Game on or something, yeah. But I mean, but here's the thing, like it's weird because I understand that, like, in this whole cigar world, that's really what brings people together is the fact that we're smoking cigars. So now we smoke these cigars, and the premise of this whole show, the cigars and everything else, is that you can have a cigar and have 4 different people from 4 different walks of life, and everybody come together around a common cigar and be able to talk about anything,
right?
You know. So it just seems weird of understanding the premise of how we come together around cigars, but then now I shy away from it now. It's crazy.
Hey man, could just be the moment. Could be the moment.
Could be the moment. Could be where I'm at in a mental space or something like that. I think that maybe that's what it was. That's what it is, because it hasn't always been that. It's just that more now than before.
Right. Yeah. For myself, I feel like I kind of always been that though. So I don't want to be nowhere where it's too quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, once it's too quiet, you forced to talk. Like I don't want to have to feel forced to keep the conversation going consistently. You know what I'm saying? Then we doing the show at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? Where like I would like to be able to just kind of drift off in my own thoughts or look at my phone for a little while or look at the TV screen for a minute.
Yeah,
Or if a
but you know, but
that's just sit there quiet while the music plays and smoke and drink, like you know. And then when we got something to say, we can say it to one another.
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. But who knows where I'm going to be 6 months from now, 3 months from now, next week? Who knows? I don't know. You just going with the flow. But I kind of know where my core is, though. Like I said, like when it comes to like a cigar lounge, like I like to have a little bit going on.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Speaking of where you're at now, any other thoughts on your cigar at this point in time?
Nah, man. I mean, I'm getting into my second, third, and easy transitions, just as I remember. That's one thing that you can say about this cigar. The cigar is consistent through. If you're looking for a cigar that's going to throw you from one set of flavors and have a bunch of like give you a roller coaster ride, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a pretty much even kill cigar, smooth from top to bottom,
Right,
start to finish. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just getting into that second, third. Nothing much has changed. Still a little bit of those cocoa notes, earthy and wood notes as well. Easy Maduro wrapper.
right.
Smooth, man. Just a smooth cigar.
Mine is kind of what it has. Some of that spice is, mellowed out and gone. The overall
Dial back a
cigar
little bit.
itself is, that dialed down. The overall cigar itself is pretty much at the same place it was. You know, like I said, that woody cocoa, this, I guess you could say earthy. And there is one thing that I'm noticing on it that's bothering me. It's
What's
almost
that?
like a like you get these certain drinks or candy and stuff, and it's supposed to be different flavors, and it's got like an artificialness to it where it's not. You can tell the flavor's not done naturally. There's something with an artificial taste that's coming through on this, and I haven't picked up where it's at, but that one note bothers me, whatever it is, and they could have done without it, But it goes back to what I say about this particular color leaf. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been something about this color that bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I guess it's reinforcing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably the Maduro that's saving it. You know what I'm saying? For all I know,
it could be. You know what? I mean, that's a good thought. That's a good thought. Like just how it's probably being tamed a little bit, and it's probably being tamed underneath that Maduro wrapper. Which, you know what? If you were somebody who wanted to smoke a light wrapper cigar, but then you didn't really want to smoke a light wrapper cigar,
might be the one.
That'll probably be your safest bet to go for. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I kind of want to venture a little bit and go that light wrapper. So from time to time, I've actually wanted to pick one up. And then I'm like, am I really going to enjoy it as much as this dark leaf?
Yeah.
So I'm more likely going to go and put that one down and pick up this dark wrapper and say, you know what? I'm probably going to enjoy this more. It's a safer bet. So if you want to kind of venture out, that's probably the way to go. So if you were stuck in your way with the dark leaf wrapper, and you kind of wanted to venture out just a little bit, that's probably the one to go with, man.
It's a good way to look at it. I would say so. This is a good way for you to get a feel of what you're going to be getting from one of these lighter leaf wrappers, but a little bit of balance of what you used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then,
hey, so check this out, man.
If you like that, then you can go ahead and commit the full way and be like, go ahead and get blasted with the whole light leaf experience. But
all right,
we're gonna shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is
What you got?
random. But the rapper T.I.
Okay.
T.I. is been venturing into comedy as a stand-up comic.
I was gonna say that, like, rapper or comedian T.I.
Comedian T.I. He's venturing into the world of being a stand-up comic. I'm just kind of getting a whiff of this, and it's interesting to hear. Apparently, somebody said. I guess he said it would be easy to do, so now he's doing it. And
Right.
I think he got booed off a stage recently. You know what I'm saying?
He did. He did.
Now I
Heard
haven't
about that.
watched any of his stand-up. I might have caught like a couple seconds of a clip, but I haven't watched him for real to actually have an assessment.
I've caught a little bit of it.
What's your take on what you've heard?
It was not funny.
It wasn't funny. Okay. Now
I didn't laugh not one time.
But see, that's the thing about it. It's not easy to go into someone else's craft to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But I will give T.I. this. I believe that he is one of the rappers that could do it. I think he can do it. I think without hearing his craft, I think over time, all comics, it takes time. They all got to get booed off stage. You know what I'm saying? A few times to become what they become.
Well, you know what? Like, here's the thing. Like, T.I., he comes off as like one of those, like, as an intelligent rapper, in sorts. And in order to be a comedian, you have to have a high level of IQ, in my opinion. Like, you have to have, like, you got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be witty. You got to know how to put punchlines together. You got to know timing and all that stuff. So you have to be smart when it comes to the craft of comedy.
Right.
Most comics that I enjoy are not dumb people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not dumb comedy. It comes off with some level of intelligence to be able to pull off what they pull off.
Right.
So I guess when it comes to that, yeah. He probably can do it. Given time.
And you hit a few of my points that I was going to make towards why I thought he'd be able to do it. I think just based off of a few of his own characteristics, I think he would transition into doing it well with the experience that he's got to get. As a rapper, he's got timing. Jokes are all about timing. You know what I'm saying? It's about a setup and a punchline, like you said. That's things you learn as a rapper. Being a comedian, you have to have a certain rhythm with the timing. He understands rhythm.
Yeah.
He understands when to deliver, you know what I'm saying, a certain punchline. He's already got the experience of working crowds and how to deal with crowds and whatnot. So he's coming in ahead of the curve. Like you say, he's already understands his being a wordsmith and being witty. He's also, like you say, he's someone who's smart. And as a rapper, you have to have a rapper has the ability to observe a situation, assess it, and form an opinion on it that most of the time can be a unique one, depending on what level of rapper you're dealing with. Him being a rapper who's high enough level to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think all of these are working his favor. I think the guy's actually outside of his persona. When you get I think he's a funny guy for real. You know what I'm saying? From what I've seen of him on camera. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can always transition to being a comic because of all the other factors.
No, I mean, and there's a lot of funny people. There's a lot of funny people who don't do well with stand-up.
Exactly.
But
they lack the other tangibles he may have already.
You might be funny on social media. You might be funny doing TV shows or movies.
Mm-hmm.
You might be funny just being able to joke on somebody or joke on a situation. But then the difference between that and putting it to a stand-up routine, you know what I'm saying, is
and that's the other
night and day.
Is to build a routine, you have to be capable of building an act, which is okay. I have to form an opinion on a situation. Then I have to be able to figure out how I'm going to set it up, how I'm going to deliver it. He understands delivery. He understands setting things up. He understands building to a certain point in something. He's got timing. He's just got to figure out how to apply things he's been doing in his craft to this craft.
Right. And the problem I think with him is he's doing it with a big light. When comedians start off, I'm pretty sure all of them weren't all that funny to begin with. They might have had some little lights of, okay, I can see your potential.
Yeah.
when they first start off, but they're not doing it with on a big stage with a big name.
Right.
You know, you're doing it on a small stage, little name, nobody knows who you are, and you work your way up till you become, you
You
know,
get
who
booed
you
off
are,
stage 10 times and then
and
eventually,
nobody even know it.
yeah.
Yeah, and nobody even know it. Like you get booed off stage, and then 5 years later, I'm like, yo, that's that guy. I remember he got booed off stage when I was at this you know, when they, like comics used to come to the colleges and stuff like that, do homecoming. You're like, I remember when he got booed off a homecoming stage, and then 5 years later, he's such and such now. You know, and it's like you get to build your craft when nobody's watching. It's just the fact that T.I. is building his craft as T.I. He has a huge following basis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's very well known. So guess what? You're going to be paid attention to, and your stuff is going to be put out, and people are going to be talking about you in your early stage of trying to do
working
something.
the kinks out. Y'all all know who he is already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's his problem. So like I'm going to say like straight up, like from what I've seen from him, it wasn't it. Not for me anyway. Not for the brand of comedy I like.
Right.
You know, it didn't work for me at all. But at the same time, if this was anybody else, what I seen from him, I wouldn't have seen from anybody else as they're working their craft. You know, with the amount of time that he has put into comedy. With somebody with a year in comedy, wouldn't have known who they were.
Yeah.
You know,
it would never hit your radar. Exactly.
Yeah, would never hit my radar.
And this is the other thing. In the first year, he don't know how to be a Chappelle or a Rock at this point in time. Like where like he doesn't understand certain subject matter he can make funny. Those guys have gotten to the point they can make anything funny. They'll find something funny and figure out a way to make it funny. And they'll build a story to do that. But him, he's looking for easy hits. I haven't listened to his stuff, and I know already he's looking for the easy laugh, like things he thinks is going to be funny, being simple. But he's more clever than probably what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And once he gets to the point where he starts figuring out how to, instead of making jokes about, you know, sex and probably dumb stuff, he's probably making jokes. He'll start making jokes about more intelligent stuff, like the type of guy he is. You know what I'm saying? And building to it.
Yeah.
I think he's got the skill set to do it, but I think, like you said, he's under the microscope and it's too early.
So kind of going off of that, like you just like kind of brought some things to my mind as far as like people in one industry going into another particular form of entertainment or craft. We talked about Michael Jordan going to play baseball and didn't translate.
Right.
Talking about T.I. now going into comedy and it not quite working out right now. But who knows where it goes from where we can go from here. You've seen Kobe, you know what I'm saying? Try to rap.
Yeah.
AI was supposed to have an album come out too. We seen Shaq rap, you know what I'm saying? He actually got joints with
successfully.
You know what I'm saying? Like Shazam, you know what I mean? He did his thing.
And it was hot. You know what I'm saying?
Just big. Man. I'm kind of torn with this though. So when a person who is very, very well known in their craft, whether it's a sport and they're trying to go into music, or they're in music and they try to go to movies and they're not received well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get mad because they're not received well in something else they're trying to go into. Like that really rubs me the wrong way a lot of times.
Okay.
You know? And I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, because I feel like a lot of times because somebody's well known, they feel like they have a license to do anything they want. And sometimes it might not work out, even though they might have a passion for it. And then they kind of get humbled to somebody like, you know, guys on our level. We're just regular people, you know, who we got passion for things and we want to do things. And we're not received, you know? Yeah. It takes a lot for us to get noticed and seen and heard. And I can't be but so mad. So how do they feel like they have a license to be seen, be heard, be given opportunity because you already have this big stage and then want to be received as big on that stage as you on the other stage?
I would say it's that arrogance or that entitlement comes from the fact that you know that you bring an audience. You know what I'm saying? And I think they have an understanding that anything you're doing in Hollywood or in the entertainment business requires an audience. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably what brings the arrogance. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to be respectful of the fact of the craft itself when you enter somebody else's craft. So regardless of the fact that you bring an audience, it doesn't mean that you get to disrespect the craft. There's a lot of rappers who transition very well into acting because rapping, you have to know how to deliver lines, and acting is delivering lines with passion also. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the emotion is, just how you try to get the emotion across the music. That's why you get people like a Tupac, who was a great actor, but Tupac, let me not use Tupac. Tupac was an actor who became a rapper. So let's not use him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he was a study actor, actually.
Who was a good actor, or Queen Latifah was a good actress. You get a Common. Common does well in movies. You know what I'm saying? But all these people put a lot of years in. They've been very disciplined to it, you know, and they respected the craft. I think Nas was good in Belly, but Nas was respectful enough of the craft to be like, all right, that's it. I'm done with it. I don't love it. You know what I'm saying? And all of these people, all these rappers, they put their time in, you know, like, and I'm sure they get their acting coaches and everything else. You know, Cube put a lot of time. I don't think Cube's a good actor, but Cube puts a lot of time in. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's solid. He's solid. He did good as Doughboy. Come on now.
Yeah, that's because that's more natural for him. Like, but you know, I think a lot of them they stay disciplined. The people that I'm naming, they stay disciplined, they took it serious, and they didn't just want it right away because of their platform. And anybody who wants that attention, they have to be respectful of the platform. It takes time. Like Jamie Foxx, for instance, right? Jamie Foxx is somebody who everybody looks at as this multi-talented guy, actor, comedian, show host, author, musician, all these things. But in reality, how I said Tupac was an actor who became a rapper, Jamie Foxx was a musician who became a comedian. You know what I'm saying?
Comedian, yeah.
Because he started off playing the piano and singing in church, then went to college and got a degree in music, and couldn't get his break in music until he was already an accomplished comic and an accomplished actor. You know what I'm saying?
Actor.
Comedy opened the door. Somebody told him he was funny and go try comedy. He was able to get his foot in the door in comedy, which led him to acting. And then he kept pushing on his show, pushing his music, because that's what he was really just a musician. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to do, yeah.
And it took him having to be disciplined and respectful to the crafts before he got his breakthrough to be respected as the musician he was. Now everybody look at him like, oh, look at this comic that can sing and play the piano. No, I'm not a comic that can sing and play the piano. I'm a pianist. I've been playing since I was 5, and I went to college for this. I'm classically trained. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he probably still look at it like, y'all don't respect me as a musician like I need to be respected, you know? But
I think he gets his respect now. I think he gets his respect now.
Well, look at it from this way. He's not even a comic for real, because Jamie's a guy who loves comedy. He's a silly, funny guy. But the moment he was able to stop doing stand-up, he stopped.
It was over. Yeah, it was over.
He ain't done stand-up in 20 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shows you he didn't have no passion for that. So he got out of it. He got a passion for funny. He's, like you said, people that's funny that don't translate to being a stand-up. He is translated, but he didn't, clearly he didn't love doing it because he stopped doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the moment he didn't have to. He's like, oh, this music popped off. No more stand-up for me. Like,
I'm gone. Yeah.
And I think the people that you're frustrated with, they need to do that. You know what I'm saying? They need to stay disciplined, stay on track, keep working at it. Because the same way that
I think that's what it is too. Is just, I guess it's some kind of entitlement that goes along with it. Hey, I'm well known. I also like doing this too, and it's a passion of mine. But not understanding that same amount of work that you might have to put in as far as being a basketball player. Guess what? You got to put that same effort into being a musician. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that same effort into being an actor. Like, it's just not going to just
you can't pay
come to you. And and I think that's a lot of times that's what happens. But then on the flip side of it, do you think us as a consumer, we have an issue accepting people and seeing them in different avenues and roles?
Sometimes, but I think less now today than ever in the past. Sometimes me and my
Yeah,
wife will
I
watch
think you see
movies
more hybrids
and I hear
now.
my
Yeah,
wife complain about certain people. I'm like, you only complaining about them because you know them. You know, they'll get their big
yeah,
breakout in a
and you
movie
you
or
you know
something.
you know them from something else. Yeah.
You know them from like we okay. So we have movie night at the house with the kids on Saturday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one night there was we watched a movie on Netflix called Trouble. Trouble
Mm-hmm.
is a cartoon about a dog that's from a rich household and he's trying to find his family after his owner dies and he ends up lost. He's trying to get back home. The main character is Big Sean, the rapper, and Big Sean is
Okay.
playing the dog. But you don't really recognize his voice like that. He ain't in his boy. He ain't in that little voice. He kind of switched it up.
Yeah.
He switches voice just subtly enough where you don't recognize it. And she don't know Big Sean like that. She know him, but she ain't like all into his music. So she can
Mm-hmm.
accept hearing him. But then the next week we watched the movie and Rihanna was the main character. And you know how obvious her voice is with that Barbadian accent.
Yeah.
And she just like
Yeah. She
Rihanna's
wasn't
too
having it.
big for her. That took her out of it. Like hearing that accent and knowing it's her. And she didn't do a bad job in the movie, but she didn't want to do it because
When they accept it, it's like, I know that's Rihanna. It's too distinct.
it's too Rihanna-y. But then you get people like Mark Wahlberg. I mean, nobody be like, there go Marky Mark playing him. Go Marky Mark again. Nobody do that to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
because he's stuck through it long enough. So eventually you
Mm-hmm.
accept people. Nobody look at Will Smith and be like, oh, they go to Fresh Prince, you know, because you just gotta
Yeah. That's over with. Yeah.
you gotta establish yourself, man. But I think in the beginning, when you very first try it, unless you straight killing it, then yeah, you're gonna run into that. But
So
today, probably
I sent
more
you
so than ever.
I sent you a short clip some months ago. Music Soul Child.
Yeah.
And he was mad that people didn't accept him as the hustle. And
I
Purple
forgot, what
Wonder
was that? A
Love. He
rapper?
got
What was that? I forgot what he
yeah. So he has two other alter egos. One is a rapper, and then two is this, like, he's already a soul artist, but he's like super hippie soul artist. That's Purple Wonder Love, and it's just like so pissed off that people didn't accept him in the same realm as they accepted Music Soul Child. Like, he was like three hot as far as not being Music Soul Child, Hustle, and Purple Wonder Love on the same level. And it bothered me. It bothered me.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like, man, like, you got something that people love you for.
Right.
Okay, I get that you want to do this and that, and you're mad they're not accepting you on that same level. Like, what kind of like level do you want people to really meet you at? Like, you can't be happy that you're being accepted here, and then you're meaningly accepted here, and then not accepted somewhere else at all. You know, I can't go into any realm and do any realm that I want, and then get widely accepted for whatever.
You're right.
You know, it was just weird to me to
See
that. It's like, dude, you got something that people love you for. Like, that's not good enough.
See, but that goes to the Will Smith example. How long did it take before he was a $20 million actor? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it took a minute. Like, he had to stay down with it. Like, and for music, you're gonna have to stay down with this new stuff for a minute. And if people never accept it, they just might not. It just might not be the one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it goes back to how I always make the example of your demographic might only be Brussels sprouts. Like, it is, and when I say that, I mean some people. Brussels sprouts ain't as popular as meal is cabbage. You know what I'm saying? And cabbage ain't gonna be as popular as steak. You know what I'm saying? And hamburgers. He has to understand what you did with music. Is a big demographic for that. Now, if we gonna want hippie music, smaller demographic. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna take a while to
Yeah.
get to them people. And if you want to be a rapper, or is what you doing going to be popular rap, or is it going to be a less popular style of rap? You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
if you backpack rapper, they're gonna be mad forever because they're never gonna. It's gonna be hard for a backpack rapper to go platinum every time out. Only a handful of backpack rappers made it to that level. Like, and I can count them on one hand. So,
Yeah.
and then they left being backpack rappers. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah.
ain't a backpack
Drake
rapper no more. Drake ain't a backpack.
Drake was a
rapper
backpack rapper.
He was.
Drake was a backpack rapper.
Yeah. So, like,
forget this.
Music would have been better off just releasing all that music under the name music, under the alias music. And just seeing where it go. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to build two new alter egos and hoping they make it, because everybody can't do that. The girl who sings that song, Hours and Hours, Money Long, she did it successfully. Yeah. She had like a YouTube channel where she was like, might have had like 1 million subscribers on it or something like that, doing music. And she got tied up into her label situation, and they was like shelving her. So she came out, in order to break the contract, she came out under a new alias that wasn't signed to the deal. You know what I'm saying? And then she dropped a couple, I guess EPs or whatever, and then boom, Hours and Hours hit. Yeah, so Money Long successfully did it, but it's a hard thing to do, man, is to build a fan base twice. You know what I'm saying? And, and when she did it, she didn't change her style of music. Music is doing. You trying?
You say she didn't change her style of music.
Genres. Like, people don't do that. Lil Wayne dropped a rock album. It ain't hit like the rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, just is what it is. He did it under Lil Wayne. Like, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just interesting to see. I mean, and I can relate in a way into myself on a small level. Like, you always have other things you want to do. You know, I've been told that on my own, like at a small level. You know, very, very small level. I'm going to reiterate that. You know, because I switched by your encouragement, by the way, to get deeper into jazz music. But my family, my homeboys, hey man, where's that dough at? You know what I'm saying? They want that. But I'm like, I love jazz music. And even when I was in my early 20s, man, like 21, 22, I always wanted to create jazz music. Like, that was a part of me, even though I was a rapper, you know, and a hip hop producer or whatever. I love jazz music, and I always wanted to create it. Like, that was always a passion of mine that I always wanted to kind of venture into. So I can understand from their standpoint that, okay, look, I'm into this sport, or I'm into this art, or I'm into this genre or whatever, and I want to jump ship and do something else. But at the same time, man, you can't be mad if you're not accepted, though. Like, you just follow your passion, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Is what it is. It's a passion. It's something that you feel about something. It's how you feel about something. It don't mean everybody else gonna feel the same way about it. And like, man, I've heard some people say when it comes to certain singles, when people be putting out singles, like I've heard people like the suits in the industry say stuff to the effect of, "That's cool for you to love that song, but you can love that song on your own, but don't put that out." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But if you in the business of making money, if you want to be in the music business,
we need you to put this out. We need you to do this kind of sound.
Yeah. So for anybody who wants to transfer and to do something else, and you getting upset because you're not being accepted, you have to understand the business aspect of anything. And the business part ain't fun, but ultimately the business is you're trying to sell a product. So you need to supply people what they want. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you want, and there's going to be a market for it, but you have to also understand that your market might not be the same with this product as it is with the other product.
But
toilet paper's going to sell really good everywhere in the world. But, you know, if you're selling something very niche, understand you got a niche product. Like,
yeah. And maybe this is just me, like, saying, like, man, I wish I even had a fraction of the opportunity that some of these other guys have. And how can you be mad that something that you're doing has been accepted? It might not be all of what you like to do, but at least you got a fraction of something that's being accepted.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be cool with that and then do whatever you want to do on the side, and however it's accepted. If it's accepted at a 10% level of what you're doing on a big level, that's still something.
Right, right. But you have a gracious mindset. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that dude might not be grateful, but it doesn't appear that way if you take that mindset where you frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I
you do have to
guess.
appreciate what you have and understand that everything might not always be what the next
Mm-hmm.
thing was, what the last thing was. You know what I'm saying? But eh. Any final words on these cigars, though, man? Let's wind it on down and get up out of here, man. Sorry, music,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Better luck with your next venture.
Oh man. Not even gonna get into that. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Oh man. But anyway, about my cigar, man.
You
I'm
know,
back on
I
South
took my
Beach again.
platform and took my opportunity on my platform. But go for it.
Hey,
I'm
look,
sorry.
I've done it to Scottie Pippen, so guess what? We good. I understand. I understand. But but man, I'm back on South Beach, man. I'm back on Biscayne. I'm on Biscayne with mine.
Okay.
Like I said, like every time I smoke this cigar, it takes me back to that time to where I came to really love my father's cigars, man, and it hasn't disappointed today. So very consistent in that. Still a consistent smoke through and through. Um, if you want a consistent smoke, you like a nice box press cigar, Maduro wrapper, that's the one to go with. Um, and if I had to rate it out of 5, it's a solid 4.0. Not the greatest cigar in the world, but one of the most solid cigars you're gonna find on the market if you ask for my opinion.
Most definitely. With mine, I'm gonna go with a 3.7, straight to the rating. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
3.7.
okay,
You
that's
know,
solid, that's
three
solid.
three is average, so it's above average. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a bad score, but at the same time, it does have things about it that I didn't enjoy, but it's got elements that I did enjoy. I got to about halfway into it before I kind of let it go because I knew we were winding down to the end of the show, and I just
Mm-hmm.
kind of focused on the conversation. But a lot of that woodiness, that toasty earthiness, even a little bit of cocoa-ness was there too, and there was some other element that I couldn't figure out. And that one element is what was kind of bothering me, but everything else was solid throughout it that I enjoyed. So not a bad cigar. It might be for someone else's palate a little more than for my own. You know, would I revisit it? Uh, if somebody handed it to me, yes, I probably wouldn't go purchase it again, though, being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Even with a
Really,
3.7, that being a good
really.
score. But there's a lot of fours out there. Why would I go with a 3.7 if I'm
Well,
paying?
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
like,
saying?
look, check this out though. Even though you said that you probably wouldn't, I could probably see if I was in your shoes. If I was in your
Mm-hmm.
shoes, in ways that or reasons why I would pick it up again. I feel like that cigar is a cigar that you probably would have to smoke more than one time to really understand that cigar. You know, with any other cigar that you might rate a 3.7 and say, if I see it, I might, or somebody hand it to me, I might smoke it. If I had a choice of this cigar versus another cigar, why would I pick it up? But I think with that cigar particularly, I think it has so much going on that it's probably going to take more than one smoke to really, 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 really get it.
Wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just based off of that, I would, if I was in your shoes, I would say, yeah, I'd pick it up again at least one or two more times just to see if I can understand all the nuances of that cigar. You know,
Interesting point of view, man. Great point of view. I don't know if I'm gonna take it, but great point of view, you know. And I would say it'd be interesting if you picked one up at some point, even if it don't
I
make the
might,
podcast.
I
I'd
might,
love to hear your point of view.
I might. You know, I might. I'll look for it. Actually, I will look for it. Only because like I'm interested. You know, it's kind of like a song or an album or something like that that just may be a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and it might be a departure from what you're used to. And then by the time the second or third time that you play it through, like you might find some
Goes on
songs
a little.
that didn't catch you, and then all of a sudden it hits you. It might be one of those. Just
Could
saying.
be. Could be. Very good perspective on that, man. And it very well could be that. For those who are may have forgotten and made it to the end with us here, it is a Joya de Nicaragua, the Cabinetta cigar that I'm referencing. And what was yours one more time, Denzel?
It was the Flor de las Antillas by my
Hey,
fathers.
sound like me. All right, cool.
I want to make sure I got everything in there, man. You know what I mean? I you know what the crazy thing is? I never really knew the name of this cigar. I just recognized it by the band, you know, and then like that's the one. You know, it's a beautiful band.
It's a beautiful band,
and that's how I always recognized it. Never really knew the name of it until probably a year ago.
Yeah, I like that band, man. That's a beautiful band. I don't think I remembered the name either. Now that you bring it up, though, so when you said it,
we just know the band.
At me, but I know the band, though.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Y'all, that brings us to the end of the Adrian Peterson episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. And we hope y'all tune in next week.
Yeah, and watch some baseball, by the way. With your cigars.
Go for
Cigars up.
Yeah.